Hey guys, Sweetchins is back with the Novelist. Let's continue the story. And I think there's a funeral going on. Yeah, the funeral. Cool. That night, Linda got a phone call.
Anne, I just got off the phone with Mom. She told me about Grandma Joe. I know we expected it sooner rather than later, but this is hitting me so much harder than when Granddad died last year. Do you remember going to Grandma Joe's house after school on Wednesdays and playing until Mom got off work? How Grandma Joe always had a surprise for us, even if it was just cookies in the oven. She'd always time it so the whole house would smell like them when we got there. I hope the minister captures those little moments because they don't seem as little now. I wish the circumstances were different, but it will still be good to see you at the funeral. What am I saying? You probably won't even get this until after the funeral. I guess I just needed to write anyway. Love, Linda.
They sure like writing in this house. Okay, something. Magazine. Mark the 21st of this month on your calendars. For one day only, watch the world famous Fighter 5. As they scream across the sky, witness death-defying feats of flying at a display unlike anything you have ever seen. Guaranteed to blow you away. Don't miss it. Tommy! No, Tommy, we gotta go to a funeral. No, Tommy shouldn't really go to a funeral. He's too young for that. Guessing everyone's asleep. Dan, big news. Got a call from Brackett Books in Eugene. And they want... Sorry, it's hard to read mine. And they want you to do a reading from Windsong. Maybe even some Q&A, some book signings, all that good stuff. I think you should do it. In fact, I'm gonna be pretty pissed if you don't. Brackett is a big outlet, so if this goes well, orders for the new book will definitely go up. I don't need to remind you how long it's been since Trammer's Way came out. If you don't keep your name out there, they're no one. What? That's a spelling mistake, I think. If you don't keep your name out there, no one... There should have been a comma. No one will even notice when you finish the new book, whatever it's called. Hell, speaking of a new one, why don't you read some of it too? Maybe the second chapter you sent me last month. That one was pretty good. Bracket Books, UD, the 21st, see you there. Paul. P.S. You know the long game, right? Nailing this one could mean a bigger advance on the next book. My name's Dan. I'm a writer. Dan.
I don't know what to say.
Paul's happy enough. For now. Paul can go fuck himself. I'm joking. I'm really not getting what these pictures are meaning. Is he got a paedophile friend or something? Because that person looked a bit too big for him. Oh. Call Paul first thing tomorrow morning. Any possible way to move it? Is this thing announced yet? Oh, sorry, I mean Tommy. Tommy. Mate, time to penetrate you from behind. No,
I'm so sorry. Tell me what I can do.
Just be here for me.
Okay. I don't get, I'm hearing major signs here. Blah. I thought it was a source something. Maybe not. Maybe not. It should cancel out the sound of the... Ah, see, here he is.
Tynan and Kelly left this morning. I wish they could have stayed a little longer, but it was great having them. It felt just like college again. Fishing, having a few beers, talking about how we're going to conquer the world. Working through some issues on his book even gave me an idea for how to fix the logjam in Act 2. Funny how creativity works sometimes. I've got to remember to put him in the acknowledgements.
Fuck him. What's that? Daniel, what would you like? Do some serious work on that chapter first. This is hard for Tommy though, because it feels like I can never have any time for him. Bitch, what you need? She knew I loved her. You're painting still, shit. Why don't you give?
I walked out to the bluff to remember Grandma Joe and say goodbye. And on the way back, I started thinking about what it really means to have a family. To make that your focus. She seemed to take such joy in being surrounded by her family, providing for them, taking care of them. I hope I never took that for granted. When I got back to the house, a question hit me that I can't get out of my head. What will Tommy think about Dan and me when he gets older?
You're a bitch.
And what if Tommy has kids of his own? I can't even begin to think of myself as a grandmother. I haven't even been a mother for that long, and I'm still feeling my way through what it means to be a good one. At least I'll always have an example. I miss you, Grandma Joe, and I'll never forget you. I promise.
Shit. Okay, I see she's done talking shit, so let's go. Oh, hello, Tommy. Up in heaven. So if we get back on the... I'll buzz at some point. I see you there doing something.
I'm sure Mom and Dad would have liked to have been the only visitors in the house, but they understood the bad timing and were glad to see us at all. With so much going on, I didn't get a chance to talk to her about things with Dad. I need to try and call or write when they get back home. I hope they're okay.
They're not. They're really not. Yeah, but Dan needs to finish his book. I guess we're going upstairs. Upstairs. I think Tommy needs... She won't get what she wants this chapter. Because... So why am I even looking for a move? Oh, because I want to see what it is, I guess.
Here we go.
What do you want? He needs to call and buy a ticket if he's coming to the funeral. Tommy! Because Tommy hasn't... He only got a compromise once. So...
Is she in heaven? Is she in heaven?
She in
I'm
heaven?
sure she is, honey.
No. She's in hell. Making cookies for the devil. God, look at that family portrait. Have you ever seen a more happy kid? Hey, Tommy. Tommy! Oh, that is pissing me off like mad, that picture. Tom, what do you want? The magazine says there's gonna be time to plane. Well, you can't have it all your own way, boy. I heard... Where's the tab? How can his camera be running out of battery? It was fully charged. The funeral. Do some serious work on that chapter first. He needs to call and buy a ticket if he comes to the funeral. Magazine says it's gonna...
Here we go.
We're doing what Tommy wants. Sorry. Selecting the air show ad, we'll choose Tommy's resolution for shit. Dan Linder will be disappointed. However, if you discover Dan Linder's blah 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 blah, we all know this shit. It's not fair. Tommy hasn't had anything. He'll die otherwise. Maybe. What's this? A final entry before I depart. The bank would no doubt prevent me from purchasing the house due to the inherent conflict of interest. But given its history of frequent ownership changes, I feel confident the mortgage department will be glad to have the property off their hands. Ahem. I believe I can set up a trust, or perhaps a shell company, and convince Mr. Lowry that we must part with the property for less than market value. I feel certain I can appeal to his conservative nature. I believe it will prove to be a shrewd investment as a rental property, and I think I now understand why people do not stay for extended periods. I find myself unable to describe the feeling precisely, but in my time here, I have found my mind drifting in strange ways, as if it was not always my own. But the natural beauty is undeniable. Perhaps shorter visits are wiser use of the property. Yes, I believe that is a fine idea. Coolio, Danny-o. He went to work on his chapter, so I'm guessing his would be the typewriter. She wanted a ticket, but I don't even know where a ticket would be. So, yeah. Want them lights. Need Dan tighten it up. What do you want to tighten up, you dirty bastards? The Diary of Claire Bradford. We're here, so why don't I feel more excited? This was supposed to be fun. Just Roger and me. Mum and Dad think we're going here with Ben and Laurie, but of course that was just a trick. Nope. Just Roger and me in this big house by the ocean for the whole week. I'm sad to see that there's no piano here, but I suppose a week without practice won't do too much harm. I guess maybe being alone with Roger that long is what's making me feel nervous. Though why should that be? He's my fiancé after all. If I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with him, I shouldn't be worried about spending a week with him. Should I? Everyone has second thoughts before they get married, right? No, not everyone. I don't know actually, maybe they do. I'm not married, so I don't think I could help you out there. Ah, this is chapters. Yeah, I know, just do it. I got a whisper. Talking about whispers, I love them whispers chocolate bars. This is, oh no. What's the time? Okay, Dan thought about time he spent the summer alone with no friends, nearby, and decided that he needed to do something special for his little man. They drove to the air show, and Tommy could barely contain his excitement. He was even able to meet one of the pilots after the show. They had a picture taken together, and the pilot gave Tommy a pair of captain wings. Coolio. Dan talked Paul into a compromise. He would work on a chapter and send it to Paul as soon as he could. Then Paul would try to talk Brackett into including an expert into their quarterly in-store preview. It wouldn't have the same impact as personal appearance, but would still build some awareness. And she's dead. Linda went to the funeral by herself, and it was even harder than she had expected it to be. It helped that almost everyone in her family came to say goodbye to Grandma Jo, but when Linda cried herself to sleep that night in an empty hotel bed, she felt more alone than she had ever had in her life. Shit, maybe that was a really bad... And that's how the Kaplan's first month of the house on the cliff came to an end. They all died. Okay. Dan sent a work in progress to his agent, who was glad to see that Dan had gotten back on track. They were both hopeful that Dan could maintain his focus and write a book that delivered on the promise of his work so far. Sorry, I have to try and read this so quick I can't take it all in. A few nights later, Dan and Linda got a babysitter and drove into town for a date. They spent more than they should have on a bottle of wine and had such a good time that they didn't notice everyone else leaving. When they finally realised they were the last ones in the restaurant, they apologised and left after giving their waitress a generous tip. And then had sex. The next day, Dan made good on a promise to take Tommy into the woods and look for arrowheads. So they drove to the site of a Souslaw settlement and got to work. Dan and Tommy had fun digging around in the dirt, getting messy and looking forward for artefacts. They found a handful of arrowheads which Tommy proudly showed his mother when they got home. I can't read this quick, it's bollocks. I'm a slow reader. They still had 2 more months on the coast and their story was just beginning. Oh, really? I thought this game was finished. We'll do it, we'll do it. I might be a bit more hasty now, though. The show! Linda got a letter in the mail. Cool. Yeah, beautiful, lovely. I think it's going to start being a lot quicker now. I'll find a compromise every now and then, but you know. Mr. Kaplan, we're thrilled to be exhibiting your work Thursday. Oh, Miss Kaplan, it's a woman. Thursday. I know this all came together a little last minute, but over security is only part-time and she sometimes gets behind. Oh, our secretary. Dyslexic. Sorry. I'm not really, but I think I am. I've sent along some forms and samples for an ad we plan to run in this week's paper. I know it's probably the last thing you want to worry about right now, but what's the point in putting on a show if no one knows about it? Anyhow, I know this is all a bit hectic, but while we might be small, we have a lot of heart, and we're very excited about your show. Nicola Adams, or Nico Adams, or whatever you're... Oh, she's got 4 clues. I can't be dealing with that. Yo, Tommy O. Do an adventure.
Has it been 5 years already? I still remember the thought that blindsided me when I saw Tommy for the first time. He's my new creative work. TJ gave me such a look when I told her I was going to cut back on my painting, but she doesn't have any kids, so there's no way she could understand.
Yeah, that bitch doesn't know anything.
It's hard to top creating an entire person. Maybe she thought Dan told me I had to stay home. That would have been a very short conversation. Still, I can't ignore the fact that it's time to figure out what on hold means. What would it look like to go back full time? Do I want to?
No, you're lazy.
I don't know yet, honey. I don't know yet, honey.
What is it, Mommy?
Pile of shit, that's what. Boom. So that's how I'm going to do it. Whatever clues I find, that's the person I go with. I'll find one compromise. That'll be it. Go, Tommy. What you ain't, Tommy?
Showing up at Grandma Joe's funeral alone was so humiliating. Celebrating the life of a woman who put family first, and I'm standing there by myself, wearing a wedding ring. I can't even... I'm still too furious to write about it.
Oh, that's nice. Bye.
Here we go.
Oh, Tommy, you're right here. I don't really like you.
Blast off.
All you want to do is have adventure time. But Daddy gotta be working. This note good for... What? This note good for one adventure, signed Daddy. Ah, okay, you did promise. Well, looks like we found all Tommy's clues. Lucky you, Tommy O. Aha, who are you? How many clues you got, Daniel? Literary register my edition inside the books is blah de blah de blah. What you thinking, boy? What you thinking? Friday, rap draw, Saturday. Oh, you got 4 clues.
Paul. Hey man, if I'd known my letter would set you off like that, I wouldn't have written. My fault. Let's both just calm down. I see now that it was stupid to ask if you knew any art agents. That's like you asking me if I know any professional sculptors. Dumb question, point taken. But believe me, no one's more worried about the schedule than I am. I think about it every day. I can't get away from it. Most nights I start thinking about it and can't stop. My heart starts beating out of control and I have to get up and try to work just to calm down. I'm not slacking off, man. I shouldn't have made you think I was focused on anything else. I'll get everything sorted out. Seriously. Dan.
No, you won't. You're gonna kill yourself. See, that's the grandma. Bit weird having that hanging over. In arts and entertainment news, the West Gate Gallery has announced show visiting artist Linda Kaplan. A resident of London, no one cares, honestly. Aha, Linda and Tommy are done. Sorry, Dan. Book ain't getting wrote. Linda, what do you want? Wait, I think I already know yours. Dan could take over the promo forms on the coffee table. Okay. Tommy.
Cool, can we go?
Right down there.
Fuck off, timer.
Right down there.
Cool, can we go?
Coolio, can we go? Go. Can we go? No. That is. Are you done? No, kid, back off. Take my bucket to the beach with Daddy. There's something on the coffee table. I think it's this. Shut up. Sorry, Daniel, but you didn't get jack shit this time. Shit happens in life, man. You can't help that. There was a bucket or something I had to take. I think I remember seeing that bucket. What's this? Diary of Clever. Maybe getting my thoughts down on paper will help. Make a list. That's what Mum always taught me. So, dear diary, here are all the wonderful things about Roger. He's very handsome. He'll soon be working as a lawyer at his father's firm. Though the job is no gift, he worked so hard in college. He might be the only person on earth who loves music as much as me. He especially loves the songs I write him. His family has money, which of course shouldn't matter, but it's nice to feel secure. Who wouldn't want to marry someone like that? Obviously you, because you're just beating around the bush with him. Poor Roger. Oh, where did I see that bucket? Gonna slap. Aha! I know. Because these people can only do two things in one day. Was there a bedroom this one? Yeah. She wants to go better. Okay, let's do it. The art show was a huge opportunity for Linda, so after getting an earful from Paul, Dan spent Saturday working on an announcement ad for a local paper. He called every writer he knew to ask if their agents knew anyone in the art world, and on the fourth call, he got lucky. The effort paid off. The show was a hit. Really? Was it really, Dan? Though he didn't have enough time to take Tommy to the beach for the day, Dan shifted his schedule to free up an hour and a half for a quick trip. The night before, he snuck down to the beach and put a conch shell where Tommy couldn't miss it. And though Tommy wanted to stay on the beach longer, he was still happy with his prize. Okay. Dan's dead. Dan missed his deadline. Paul called to chew him out, and even though Tommy and Linda were both upstairs, they could hear the agent's voice over the phone. It just added to the pressure that Dan was putting on himself, and he spent 2 days in a distracted fog before he got into any sort of rhythm on his book. Okay. I got that. Okay. The Inheritance. We'll have to wait for the next episode. Stay tuned, guys. Been Sweet Chins playing the Novelist. See you later. Stay sweet.